Wayfinder, or prompt token, has been listed on Bitget. Wayfinder is a pioneering AI agent network that's designed to bridge the gap between artificial intelligence and crypto networks, allowing users to engage with Web3 and DeFi networks through AI agents using natural language prompts. So this is the Wayfinder website. I took the website information and I got their white paper information, and then I put everything together that I could find into a Google Notebook instance, including all of their long YouTube videos that are explaining everything about Wayfinder AI. Then I asked the AI to give me a project overview, explain what makes this project unique, and different ways that investors might make money or earn a profit. I created a step-by-step guide on how to create Wayfinder shells for profit and other ways of using AI agents to bridge the crypto networks, and this is a pretty fascinating project. Finally, I knew enough about the project that I could ask the AI to create a podcast-style interview that would explain all the benefits of the project. Once I was done all the research, I thought I'd put $5 into it, so I bought 25 tokens. And now I've got the AI podcast up along the side here, and I'd like to get your feedback. What do you think about this kind of research and this kind of presentation? Would you like to see more of them? Leave your comments down below. That'll help guide the next videos that I create. Okay, and now let's watch the podcast.
You know, sometimes diving into Web3 feels, well, overwhelming, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's like a whole universe of blockchains, dApps.
Yeah, and everything changes so fast. Blink and you miss it.
Totally.
Right.
I think everyone's looking for a way to, cut through the noise.
Find a simpler path, get the insights without drowning in jargon.
Exactly. And that brings us right to our deep dive today. We're looking at a project called Wayfinder.
Wayfinder, okay.
Yeah, they're positioning themselves as this omni-chain AI tool, basically trying to be that simpler path through the Web3 maze.
An AI guide for Web3 sounds ambitious.
It is, but potentially really useful.
So our mission today is really to unpack Wayfinder for you all listening. We want to get into what it actually does, its core functions.
How it could actually benefit users, make things easier.
Right. And maybe touch on the tech behind it, what makes it tick.
And we've been looking at a bunch of stuff, YouTube videos, giving different takes, plus their official white paper for the deeper details.
So kind of combining the practical views with the technical blueprint.
Exactly. The goal is, by the end of this, everyone should have a pretty solid handle on Wayfinder and, what it might mean for interacting with crypto.
Okay, sounds good. So where do we start? What's the core concept?
Well, a really key piece is something they call Wayfinder shells.
Shells. Like seashells.
Not quite. But think of them more like your own personal AI assistants, but specifically built for Web3.
Okay, AI assistants for crypto. Interesting.
Yeah, you own them, they're autonomous, and they can navigate blockchains, even handle transactions for you.
Autonomous transactions. So how do they know where to go or what to do? It's not like there's a Waze for Ethereum, right?
Not exactly, but Wayfinder is trying to build something like that. They use what are called wayfinding paths.
Wayfinding paths, okay.
Those are basically like smart maps, you could say.
Yeah.
Developed by the community, specifically designed for smart contracts and DeFi protocols.
So the AI shells use these community-made maps to navigate.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
It guides them through all the complex interactions, like a GPS for the blockchain, as you said.
Gotcha. Okay, so we have these AI shells guided by wayfinding paths. Now, the big question, how does this translate into actual benefits? Like, can people earn anything through this?
Yeah, that's definitely something the sources cover. There seem to be a few ways. First up, there's talk of an airdrop.
Ah, the classic Web3 airdrop.
Right. Mentioned in the Web3 Wikis video specifically. It's for Wayfinder's own token, which they're calling prompt. So,
and there's an airdrop coming.
Seems so.
Are there other ways to earn?
A big one mentioned is earning prompt by depositing Prime.
Prime, that's the token from Parallel Studios, right? The game and virtual world project.
That's the one. Apparently, a pretty significant chunk of the total prompt supply, like 40%, is allocated for this.
Wow, 40%. That's huge.
Yeah. And the sources suggested this deposit mechanism might run for, 2 years or possibly even more. So it's a longer-term potential earning method if you hold Prime.
Interesting. So if you're into Parallel, this could be a nice synergy.
Could be. And then there's another way, more active participation. You can earn by developing new wayfinding paths.
Ah, contributing to those smart maps we talked about.
Exactly. If you create a path and it gets verified and accepted by the community as, valid and useful,
Then what?
Then you can actually get a share of the fees generated whenever someone's Wayfinder shell uses your specific path.
Oh, that's smart. Incentivizes people to build out the network's capabilities, like building a toll road on the blockchain highway.
Kind of, yeah. Little cut for making the system better and more comprehensive.
I like that. Any other earning angles?
The white paper also mentions a Wayfinder bounty program. It's similar earning tokens for finding and submitting new paths that aren't mapped yet.
So, discovering new routes.
Right. But there's a catch. It looks like you'll need to stake PROMPIT to participate.
Stake, meaning lock up some tokens.
Yeah, as a kind of guarantee. And if the path you submit turns out to be wrong or, malicious, your staked tokens could get slashed.
Slashed, like taken away.
Reduced or potentially lost, yeah. So there's risk involved. Keeps people honest, hopefully.
Okay, so staking with potential slashing for submitting bad paths makes sense. So we've covered earning potential airdrops, depositing prime, building paths, bounties. And for those interested, the PROMPP token is actually available now, right?
That's right. Our sources indicate you can currently find and trade PROMPP on the Bitget exchange.
Good to know. We'll circle back to that later. But now let's get to the really cool part, I think. How do these AI agents, the shells, actually solve problems? What can they do for users?
This is where it gets exciting. The sources gave some great examples. The Block Runner video talked about optimizing yield.
Yield farming. Getting returns on your crypto.
Exactly. Imagine you've got tokens on Ethereum, maybe some on Solana, some on Base. Keeping track of the best yield opportunities is a nightmare.
Tell me about it. Spreadsheets everywhere.
Right. So a Wayfinder shell could supposedly scan your whole portfolio across all these networks. It identifies the best yield options.
Okay.
Even factors in the costs of moving funds between chains, the bridging costs.
Oh, that's crucial. Bridging can eat into profits fast.
Totally. So it calculates the optimal strategy, presents it to you, and if you say go with just a simple prompt.
Like telling Siri or Alexa what to do.
Kind of like that, yeah. The shell executes all the bridging and swapping and staking needed to optimize your yield automatically.
Wow. Okay, that alone sounds like a killer app. No more manual DeFi juggling.
That's the promise. Another big one is just simplifying cross-chain transactions in general.
Moving assets between different blockchains.
Yeah. The Yalla Bitcoin video had a clear example. Tell your agent, swap my ETH on mainnet for token X on Base.
And it just does it.
Apparently. The shell handles the bridge, handles the swap on Base, and the new tokens just appear in your Wayfinder wallet.
That removes so much friction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
DeFi Dad had a similar one-bridge ETH from Base to Solana, then buy a specific token there, all with one command.
It's abstracting away the complexity layer. You don't need to know how it works, just what you want.
Precisely. It goes beyond just swaps. The Wayfinder.ai is reshaping. Video mentioned interacting directly with smart contracts.
Oh, so?
The shells could potentially create contracts, call specific functions within existing contracts, execute things.
So much deeper interaction with dApps is possible through the AI?
That seems to be the potential, yeah. It really aims to simplify DeFi overall. You wouldn't need to understand intricate multi-step processes.
Like that DeFi dApp example of moving funds across several networks just to get USDC on mainnet for a payment.
Perfect example. Manually, that's a pain. With Wayfinder, ideally, it's just one instruction.
Takes the degen out of DeFi, maybe? Makes it more accessible?
That's certainly the goal. And the white paper even hints at creating custom yield strategies that learn and improve over time.
Learn? How?
Because the AI agents, the shells, have memory. They remember past actions, market conditions. So a strategy could potentially adapt itself, continuously optimizing based on new data.
Okay, that's moving beyond simple automation into actual intelligent management. Very cool. So thinking bigger picture then, how could entrepreneurs use this? Can people build on top of Wayfinder?
Absolutely. That seems to be a core part of the vision. Leveraging these specialties, the paths, the shells themselves.
Said that work?
Well, the Block Runner video mentioned using shells to incentivize actions. Like, say you're building an AI trading bot.
Okay.
You could maybe use Wayfinder shells to reward users who provide high-quality data to train your bot. Developers could tap into these specialized trained shells via Wayfinder.
Like accessing a pre-trained AI module for a specific task.
Sort of, yeah. They drew an analogy to something called Model Context Protocol, or MCP, from the Web 2 world.
Never heard of it, but the idea makes sense.
The point is, Wayfinder provides a standard way for AI agents to talk to different applications using simple prompts. This abstraction layer is key for builders.
So developers could create apps that look simple, but use Wayfinder's complex cross-chain abilities underneath.
Exactly. Imagine an app that guarantees the best swap rate across 5 different chains, but the user interface is super clean. Wayfinder does the heavy lifting.
That definitely lowers the barrier for building sophisticated Web3 apps.
For sure. And remember the wayfinding paths. Entrepreneurs can build new paths.
Right, create new functionalities.
Yeah. If you see a gap, some interaction that isn't possible yet, you build the path for it. If the community adopts it, you could earn fees whenever it's used.
So building infrastructure for the ecosystem and getting rewarded, that's a strong incentive.
It really is. It creates this potential for a growing ecosystem where developers are constantly adding new capabilities.
A network effect, basically. More paths mean more useful shells, which attracts more users and developers.
Precisely. The white paper also talks about organizing agents. Having multiple shells maybe work together on a bigger goal.
Like a team of AI assistants.
Potentially. And connecting that to routines, sequences of actions for specific tasks, entrepreneurs could build simple front ends that trigger these complex multi-agent routines with just a click.
Hiding all the complexity behind a simple button press.
That's the dream for user experience, isn't it?
Definitely. Okay, so we've mentioned shells a lot. Let's just circle back and really simplify it one more time. What is a Wayfinder shell in plain English?
Okay, simplest terms. Think of it as your personal AI buddy for crypto and Web3.
An AI buddy, I like it.
It has its own wallet. It can act on its own based on what you tell it to do.
Using plain language instructions?
Ideally, yes.
Yeah.
And it finds its way around using those wayfinding paths, the smart maps we discussed.
Got it. AI buddy with its own wallet and smart maps. How do I get one?
The plan outlined in the white paper is that creating a shell will cost some T, the native token.
Okay, so you spend some prompt to mint your shell. Can you customize it?
Yeah, and this is pretty interesting. You can train it, feed it data, documents, code, maybe even audio.
To make it smarter about specific things.
Exactly. Make it an expert in, say, NFT markets or specific DeFi protocols. You can even give it a seed identity.
Seed identity, like a personality.
Kind of. More like core goals or characteristics to guide its behavior.
Yeah.
So your shell becomes tailored to you.
And it learns as it goes.
Yes, it remembers past actions, outcomes, learns from experience, and gets better over time.
That's powerful.
And get this, the memories and learned experiences can apparently be cloned and shared.
Cloned. So I could benefit from someone else's highly trained shell.
That's the idea. Share the knowledge across the network.
Okay, that is fascinating. So as we start to wrap up this deep dive on Wayfinder, let's recap the main takeaways. What should people remember?
Okay, key things. Wayfinder is aiming to drastically simplify navigating Web3, making it less complex, more user-friendly.
Using AI.
Using AI, specifically these autonomous agents called shells, guided by community-built wayfinding paths.
And there are ways to potentially earn through the PromPT token airdrops, depositing Prime, building paths.
Right, and the core benefit is getting these AI shells to handle complex tasks for you, optimizing yield, cross-chain swaps, interacting with contracts, all through simpler commands.
So basically, it's commoditizing the navigation of Web3, making complex blockchain actions accessible via AI.
Well put. It's trying to abstract away the engine room stuff and just give you the controls on the bridge.
It really does make you think about the future, doesn't it? AI agents managing digital assets, changing how we interact with blockchains fundamentally.
A big vision. How might this tech change how you use Web3? It's definitely food for thought.
Indeed. And just a reminder for listeners interested in getting involved or exploring the token side.
Right. As we mentioned, the PromPT token is currently listed and available for trading on the Bitget exchange.
And Bitget has kindly offered listeners a way to save on fees. If you use the code, you can get 20% off your trading fees there.
Definitely worth checking out if you're planning to trade PromPT.
So, final thought.
I just encourage everyone to keep an eye on Wayfinder, read their materials, see how the project develops. It represents a really interesting potential shift in making Web3 truly usable for a much broader audience. Consider the possibilities it might unlock.